12 is the number that represents, again, what God wanted. A replacement. Something real. Something that follows the same pattern as that original thing that He created. But now another thing is being created, the new thing. And it's replacing that which has worn out. And this son of David has 12 men who hear a word, a particular word from the Father about who He is, that He really is the one who was to come. And no one else heard like they heard. Others heard He might be the one, and there was excitement, but they didn't hear like the 12 heard. Because when all the others went away, the 12 stayed because they heard a different word, a different kind of word, a different level of the word. Because they were chosen to hear the word. That word was alive in them, telling them He was the one. Stay with Him. Don't leave Him alone. This word is nowhere else. It's only coming out of His mouth. You can't find the word anywhere else. It's in you, and it agrees with Him because He is the one. And the 12 stayed when all the others left because they were chosen as the 12. A representation of something new. You don't pour new wine into old wineskins. You don't patch a new piece of cloth on an old garment. I think that's how it went. It's new. It's replacing the old. You don't just mix the two. The old dies away. And that old is this nation of animals who have this command set, but who didn't get it, who continually didn't get it. They didn't want to be a holy nation. They didn't want to be a kingdom of priests because they wanted to listen to the adversary. They wanted to be like all the other nations. That is the message continually throughout the words that speak. That they continually wanted to be like all the other nations. They didn't want to be this treasure. They didn't want to be for God's purpose. They wanted to listen to the voice. The voice that spoke and drove them with the craving, the indulgences, the needs, the desires, the wants, the lusts, the agreement. And what was it about the 12? The 12 and the Son were a more perfect revelation of God's purpose. The 12 who heard the voice of the Father, who heard that living word inside them speaking to them, were a more perfect representation of what the Father wanted. With Israel, when he told them these words, what he really meant by this treasure, what he wanted was a brotherhood. He wanted sonship. He wanted sons. He wanted a family. He wanted a family not of brothers who exploited each other, not of brothers who were animals and who looked at each other like competing animals, whom could be exploited so that individually they could get more for themselves and their own family, their own brood, their own animal brood. Not that. That's what they became. That's what all animals are, because they're all driven by the same voice. That same voice of the talking snake, the same instinct that says survive better, survive more, longer. Make your name survive better. That self-driven, the drive to prolong your own greatness, your own fame, and pass it along to your sons who have your DNA, who look like you, who speak like you, who take on your characteristics because you're so great, because you are as good as you inherently think you are. Yeah. That animal voice always speaks the same way to the animals, individually and collectively. It always tells them that they are as great as they think they are, as great as they think they need to be. It always tells them that they have the right to do what propels them further and get what they think that they need to convince themselves and others that they are as great as they assume themselves to be because of that voice that they hear and they listen to. It always speaks the same way. Survive, survive, survive. Survive better. Survive with more dignity, more honor, more respect. Because that's all part of the survival. That's all part of what the animals always crave all the time. More.